What's good, y'all, man? We're back again with another video, and today we're here to break down the playoffs. Listen, they start on Saturday. We still got the playing games tomorrow, but I'm not gonna lie, I really don't give a damn. Both of those teams, whoever comes out, is gonna get swept or even losing in 5 games. I really don't care to even wait for those series to end to make this video, so I'm just gonna make this video right now. But before we get into this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and share with your friends. I'm dead serious this time. I'm really getting back into content creation. This is actually getting very fun for me again, so hopefully you like this video. Hopefully you stay around, but let's get straight into this video, man. We're gonna start off with the series that made me want to make this video today at this moment, and that is the Nuggets versus the Clippers. If you see me looking down a lot, there's going to be highlights in the background, of course, but if you see me looking down, I got a lot of notes because this series had me thinking a lot, and I had to jot my notes down, jot my thoughts down before I decided who's going to win. So, Nuggets versus Clippers. This is probably my most anticipated series, except for obviously my team's in the playoffs, but this is probably my most anticipated series just because I feel like matchup wise we're going to see a lot of things. We're going to see Russell Westbrook play his old team. We're going to see Zubac versus Jokic, which is something I am very much excited for. We're going to see James Harden and Kawhi Leonard versus Jokic and Jamal Murray. It's just going to be a very star-studded, exciting series, and I think it's legit logic for both teams to win. So to start off, the thing that makes me the most excited about the series, Jokic versus Giannis. Jokic versus Zubac. I'm very excited for that matchup because I feel like this is the perfect person to guard Jokic in the playoff series, in the 7-game series. Now you got guys like Anthony Davis. His thing is, I don't think he's that strong enough to guard Jokic, and I don't think he's as big enough at all. And he's like 6'10", 6'11". Jokic 7 foot, 280. Big yoke, like he bodies him every time. Same thing with Rudy Gobert, who I also think is very strong. Just not a good matchup. Zubac is legit the same build, and I would say he's even bigger than Jokic. And then I asked a couple Nuggets fans, and they said this is one of Jokic's problems, and he doesn't have a lot. But this is a player that is very good at defending Jokic. To break it down, when I went back and watched a little bit of film, I seen Jokic taking a lot of shots outside the paint because he really wasn't backing down, because you really can't. Zubac is just that good of a post defender. You really can't back him down. So if I'm the Clippers, I'm letting him take all them shots, because him taking those threes, that means everybody else is not involved. Even though everybody else you're probably not worried about, especially when it comes to them shooting threes. But if you have Jokic taking them threes, I'm probably going to concede with that shot, because Jokic is inside the paint, inside beyond the 3-point line. That's when he gets even crazier. But if Jokic shoots 40% from 3 this series, and it has 5 threes a game, you're probably okay with that, because I feel like that's not their offense. They can play that way. As you can see this year, I believe he shot 40% on 5 threes a game. But as you can see, it's a struggle this year to even make it where they were. So I think that kind of gets them out of their element a little bit. I think when it comes to that pick and roll game with Jokic and Jamal Murray, I feel like that's going to be able to work. I feel like they're going to be trying to hunt and get a mismatch with James Harden, but this year, to me, he's been pretty good defensively, and he really hasn't cared if you want to. They switch so easy over there. They switch for everybody over there. So I feel like that's something that can hurt them on offense for the Nuggets, is how much they switch over there. I think on the other side of the ball, I think Chris Dunn is going to be big for this series, because if he's hitting his shots, then that's going to be hard, because Jokic has to come out, and that means Kawhi, Harden, Bogey, y'all get to the rim more. That means Zubac, you're dominating in the paint, because that means he's going to be wide open a lot. And if he's hitting his shots, then they're going to start guarding him. But then if they don't, the thing I love, and this is why I'm starting to love this sport, because I'm starting to see things that I didn't see before, like seeing in-game adjustments. Chris Dunn wasn't hitting his shots. Well, he was hitting his shots, but they still weren't guarding him on Sunday when they played the Warriors. So what Ty Lue did was, he knew he can't take him out because the defense was just that good. He put him near the free throw line, so where you still got to guard him, because he can't make decisions. He can't hit that floater. He can't throw that lob pass to Zubac, and they kind of dominated down the stretch while doing that, picking on Draymond to a little bit, because he can't guard everything, and they weren't guarding well on Sunday. And I just like that little adjustment, and I feel like that's something you can also go to against the Nuggets, because I feel like Jokic is not going to be that good at guarding that. Now, another thing is MPJ. He's going to have to hit his shots. And I don't think it's going to be a lot of open shots, because the Clippers defense, it's like the defense that they're always at the right spot. They rotate. They all have the right effort for it. they're always there. You rarely see them get open shots. So he's not going to get a lot of open shots. But the shots he does hit, he's going to have to hit those shots. Because I already know he's not going to defend. So I'm not going to say, oh, MPJ, you got to defend this series. That's just something stupid. He can't defend. He hasn't been that good this year on defense. So if he wants to stay on the floor, you got to hit his shots. You got to rebound the ball. But if he's not doing that, expect a lot of Peyton Watson minutes, because he's just that big of a piece for them on defense. And even though their defense is still trash, nobody worries about it. Him himself is a very good defender, one of the best rim protecting wings we have in this league. He's all over the place over there, and I can imagine him getting a lot more minutes if Michael Porter Jr. is not shooting well, because if he's not shooting well, he's not really doing nothing. Peyton Watson can bring us rebounding, and he's going to literally bring us defense. That's what they're going to need. So I don't know if we're going to see a lot of Michael Porter Jr. Also, is Jamal Murray going to hit his shots this series? Is he going to be healthy? As we've seen last year, he wasn't that healthy, and I feel like that was kind of a struggle against a Minnesota team, and that's why sometimes it looked like they were kind of picking on him, laughing at him as he was coming across the half court. Like, if he's going to be healthy this series, because if he is, Jamal Murray is just that type of player where I don't think he cares who's in front of him. It could be prime Kawhi Leonard, it can be Chris Dunn. He don't give a damn. He's going to go, and he's going to give you buckets. Like, that's just the type of player he is. Like, you want to label people killers, that is legit a killer. I've seen him go against the best of the best and not give a fuck who it is. So that's going to be another moving factor. Christian Braun and Russell Westbrook. I want to kind of put Russ in his own thing, because I do feel like Christian Braun has been pretty good. But like, Russ, can you bring positives to this series? When you do have the ball, can you not turn it over? Can you hit your shots when you are shooting in the corner, because they're going to leave you open like they're going to leave Chris Dunn open? Can you defend harder on those pick and rolls? Because I feel like Russ has been a pretty good defender this year, but they're going to have to rely on that a lot more. Yeah, and you can just not do dumb shit. No bad turnovers. And Russ is my guy. Y'all know that's my guy, but he is keen to having those dumbass things. So can he do that? Christian Braun, can you hit your shots? Because at some point, he's going to get a lot of attempts. And if he's just hitting, 1 or 2 a game, they're just going to leave him open the whole series. Because I'm a fan of Christian Braun, but I also think little things in this game gets overrated. And I think it's the defense. He shows effort. Motherfuckers don't care about him, Christian Braun. They don't care. They're not like, oh, get him off me, get him off. No, they will go after him. He's not good at getting around screens. I would say one-on-one, he's okay. He's pretty good at that. I do like him off ball. I think to me, that's the best part of this game when it comes to defense. So, can he hit his shots? Because that's going to help him stay on the floor a lot more, and they're going to rely on that this year, like they did with KCP. So, with this series, I feel like the Clippers have a lot of things that the Nuggets are. It's a bad matchup for the Nuggets. I wouldn't say it's a bad matchup for the Clippers. Now, if Zubac wasn't good or made improvements like he did this year, I would say so. But Zubac has been crazy this year. I feel like he can dominate in the paint this series, especially on those low floaters he be hitting at. I feel like he will be a very good defensively this series. The big thing you're kind of banking on and hoping on is James Harden going to have a good series. And I feel like he had a good one last year. Kawhi, you're going to give us the full, whatever we need, 5, 6, 7, are you going to give it to us? And if he does, I'm going to go to Clippers. But I've been seeing like, oh, Clips in 5. Oh, it could be a sweep. Like, y'all fucking mind. That just show y'all don't really rate Jokic like y'all say y'all do. I'm going to go Clippers in 7, just out of respect. Out of respect for Jokic, and if Jamal is Jamal, out of respect for him too, because that motherfucker's like that. So I'm going to go Clips in 7. But I can't see a 6 and I'm not, even though I just said I'm not going to do that, I can't see a hard-fought 5 games. But I'm going to go Clips in 7. Another series I'm very excited for. Knicks versus Pistons. Now this series, to start off with, I feel like a major point is who is going to get the Cade assignment. Now, me, if you've been watching this channel since it started, I've never gave a damn about no Mikal Bridges on defense. Now, I've never cared, even when he was elite, because I can admit at one time he was pretty good. Now that's fool. So, are you going to put Mikal on Cade and just watch him get killed on these screens from Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart, and just watch Cade just pull up to these open middies or get to the rim and attack Cat's going to foul out in the first 30 minutes? Like, are you going to do that, or do you put OG there and sacrifice some rim protection, some help for Cat? Because I still believe the same thing. Cade's going to get to the rim. more of the story, K's going to cook whoever. So if I'm a Knicks fan, or if I'm the Knicks in general, I'm not more so focused on that. But that is a thing I will think about a little bit, because if he's just getting to the paint at will, if Sarge is getting to the paint at will, like, that means Cat's going to be out the series pretty quick, because he's going to foul. So that's a little bit of bad stuff. More so for the Pistons, I wouldn't have a lot of beef stew minutes, just because of the rebounding, the ability to switch on Jalen Brunson, on Mikal Bridges. The defense in general is just, I'm close to saying it's elite. Like, Isaiah Stewart is he's like that on defense. And then on offense, like I said, he brings you rebounding, brings you rim finishing. I don't even think I said that right. He brings you finishing around the rim. Very good screen setter, so Mikal will die on a lot of those screens. And then you can kind of put him on to Josh Hart, and he can just chill in the paint, because Josh Hart can shoot it, but for some reason this year he doesn't want to shoot it. It's the weirdest shit. So I would have a lot of beef stew minutes, and kind of like I just said like a couple seconds ago, also put Jalen Duren on Hart, because like I said, he's not trying to shoot. You put Jalen Duren on Hart, it helps you with the rim protecting. It helps you with rebounding, because Josh Hart, you're going to get boxed out by Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren is nothing to play with when it comes to the rim. I mean, when it comes to the rebounding. So I kind of think they could take out Josh Hart a little bit in this series, just because how gritty and how big they are, and that's kind of like how he likes to play. But they play it harder. So I kind of like that for them. Now, will you put Asar? I mean, another thing with the Knicks defense is, will you put JB on Asar? Because if you do that, here, Asar, just go to that dunker spot when King dribbles right past Mikal Bridges. I'm going to throw you the lob, and you're going to average 20 points this series. So what are you going to do with JB? Who is he going to defend? Is he going to defend a shooter? So are you going to chase Tim Hardaway and Malik Beasley around these screens? I don't know. That's another matchup I'm pretty excited to see, because I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're going to do. The Knicks defense in general is just like, I don't know what I'm going to get. I don't know at all what I'm going to get. But to talk about their offense, I think they can kind of make it hard for Jalen Duren, because I feel like he does struggle with spacing bigs a lot. And I've also talked to a couple Pistons fans, and they feel the same way. So I do feel like they can make it hard for him. I also feel like they do have like the trump card, which is having an elite playoff performer in Jalen Brunson, who is, like I said with Jamal Murray, really doesn't care who's in front of him. He's going to attack at all times. So I feel like that is another addition to the team. Cat, I feel like he can have a good series scoring-wise, but like the defense, probably the rebounding might be a little bit hard for him, but the defense for sure. Mikal, it's just, I don't care. OG. Now, if OG brings a little bit of that, March OG, early April OG, just adding another legit shot creator to the team, that would be big for them. I like what they're going to do on the other side, especially with the Pistons. I like an Asar on Jalen Brunson. Like I said, I'll put Jalen Duren on Josh Hart, put Tobias on Cat, and it's like, whoa, Tobias on Cat. Cat's never been the type to see a little man. It's like, I'm just going to dominate you every time. He's going to settle. So Tobias on Cat is something I'm okay with. And then Cade on OG. Cade is a pretty good defender. So yeah, this is an interesting series, and I know I talked a lot about the Pistons. So do I want to go jump off the ledge and take them? I'm going to do it, because the type of basketball they play, I feel like is meant for the playoffs at the moment, and just the type of team they are. They remind me of the Knicks like last year or a year before, just that gritty team that's going to fight. They will fight. Literally and figuratively, they will fight. And I think the Knicks are soft. I do. So I'm going Pistons in 7 again. Or 6. I'm going Pistons in 6. I love the Pistons. I really do. They got my guy JB over there. Now another series. Bucks versus Pacers. Now listen. In a perfect world, Doc Rivers wouldn't be the Bucks coach. In a perfect world, Brook Lopez wouldn't be the Bucks starting center, because I feel like those two things mean a lot, especially when it comes to this series. Especially with Doc. The whole thing is with the Bucks is they let open threes go like all the time. That's why the Pacers cooked them every single time, because a lot of the threes is just wide open. And the big reason of that, fucking Brook Lopez, because he can't play in this series. But you're gonna play him because he's Brook Lopez, and coaches these days don't have the motherfucking balls to just pull out a player who can't play. You will hear that later on in this video when we talk about the Lakers and the Timberwolves. But Brook cannot play unless Giannis is off the floor. Like, I'll give him those minutes, those little 10 minutes when Giannis is off the floor. But to me, he cannot play this series. It would just be pretty bad because he can't play in the drop. He plays a deep-ass drop. And if Tyrese is hitting the series, it's over. It's over. Now, I feel like... Oh, shit. I feel like to say some positive things about the Bucks. Others are very good shooters, and what I mean by others, I mean Trent Jr. has been pretty good as a shooter, catch a shooter this year. AJ Green to me is an elite catch a shooter. Taurean Prince this year has been an elite catch a shooter. Even Bobby Portis is a pretty good catch a shooter, and they're going to get a lot of open looks, a lot of catch a shoot opportunities because Giannis will dominate this series. And the wall will come back, and that means a lot of open shots for everybody else. And this team doesn't have what that 2019 team had, I believe, which was like Eric Bledsoe, fucking Wesley Matthews. No, they got legit shooters over here. So they should shoot the ball very well this series, and that could keep them in the game. I think this is a bad matchup for both teams. It's not just a bad matchup for the Bucks. I think like Giannis can go out here and average 38 fucking points if he wanted to. But I don't know. I mean, I believe he will dominate the series. I don't want to say it. I believe he will dominate. More things about the Bucks. Do you trust KPJ, Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez when Giannis is on the bench for them 10 minutes? I don't know. I don't know. KPJ in stretches have been very good, but in also stretches he's been pretty terrible. Bobby is one of the most annoying bench players in my fucking life that I've ever watched. And as you can see by the first part of this section, I do not like Brook Lopez in 2025, so I don't know. Now, the biggest X factor is if Dame is going to play. Now, they just said he's not going to play the first game, but he is ramping up. I also think that means that we're going to see him in Game 3, so that means Giannis will have to give us the one in Indy, and I think he can do that. But if Dame is back, it does make the series a lot more interesting because Giannis can rest a little bit, he can chill a little bit, and Dame was dogging the Pacers last year, and they just needed Giannis, and they took it to 6. Shout out to Chris Middleton because he was also doing his shit. But I think just the defense is just so meant for the Pacers to kill them. Like they 1 through 11 all can shoot except fucking TJ McConnell, but everybody else can shoot. I think they're meant to beat the Bucks. If we don't get a Dame, like if that means he's gonna show up in Game 4 or 5, I'm gonna lean the Pacers at 6. But if we get Dame at 2 or 3, Bucks at 6. I do think Giannis can dominate. And this is my whole thing. As a Giannis fan, I'm so prepared for this summer to be the hardest shit because if we don't get out this first round series, the agendas that they're going to push because he couldn't push this shitty ass team past a legit good team. And that just shows me a lot of people haven't watched the Pacers after the first month of the series when they were pretty mid. Since then they've been elite. Like this is a very good team that can also make an Eastern Conference run. I don't think they can fuck with my Cavs, but I wouldn't be surprised if they beat us. They're a very good team. So I'm gonna go Pacers in 6 confidently. But yeah, I need Giannis to dominate. I want it so bad. Pause. Next, Celtics in 4. Don't really gotta break that down. Celtics in 4. Cavs in 4, Thunder in 4. I didn't write notes for the freaking... Oh, I skipped the Warriors series. I actually talked about them last. Lakers versus Timberwolves. My first initial thoughts when the series came out, I was like, yeah, Lakers in 5. I still might think that by the end of this whole soliloquy, I'm going to say, but I don't know. I feel like the Timberwolves can be a decent matchup for the Lakers, but it all starts with, I believe he changed his number to number 5. It all starts with number 5 and number 30, but number 5. Because if you've been watching the Lakers over these last 2 months, the defense has been pretty good most of the time. It was always like a 5-game time when shit was terrible. Even I believe it was longer than that. But they don't play one-on-one defense. It's just, they don't play that. They play team defense, and they play it in an elite way where they're just loading the high side or the hot side, whatever you want to call it. They're going to be on that side. They're going to do that to Anthony Edwards. And he's going to have the decision make at a very good level to win this series, because they will leave shooters open. And you will have opportunities to get the ball out. But if you're just going to be over here chucking on everybody, I won't go far. I won't go at all. I won't go far at all. He has to be able to make decisions while also getting his own. I feel like that's the next step for his game. I feel like guys like Donovan Mitchell and Devin Booker have already done that. That's why if you was to ask me right now who I would think is a better basketball player, I would say them two. But who I would take it, I'm taking it. But still, they've made those leaps to where, like, okay, I just already got 10. I'm not going to shoot the shot to get 12. No. Here, Jared Allen. Here. Also, Iguodala. Here. I got to get you involved. Like, they're going to have to do that. Or if I'm getting doubled, okay, I'm not going to try to split the string and go get my own bucket. No. Cross-court pad to the corner. Sam Merrill wide open. Boom. Like, they've made those adjustments in their game. I think we've seen it at times for Ant. Especially, I want to say, it was one close game they had over the last month. I believe it was the Nuggets. But he was actually welcoming the double team and making plays off of it. But I want to see that more. We got to see that more because it's going to be big in this series. Who matches up with who? I feel like that's also very big for this series. Just to start off, Mike Conley can't fucking play this series. I'm sorry. He cannot. I wouldn't play him more than 10 minutes. But like I said earlier about Brook Lopez, coaches do not have balls today. But so he's going to play like 25. And he's going to get bullied. He's going to get picked on. And if he's not hitting his shots, he's going to be out there doing nothing. It's not like he's setting the table for a team that has the terrible offense. No, he's not doing none of that. So, he wouldn't play a lot of minutes. A lot of those minutes is split between Dante and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. So, who matches up with who? Let's say in my perfect world it happens and Nickeil Alexander-Walker starts. I will put Nickeil obviously on Austin Reeves. I'll put Ant on Luka, and I'll put J-Mac on LeBron. Or I'll put J-Mac on Rui. And I put Julius on LeBron. And then for the other side, I would put Luka. Shit. if I'm starting no, I'll put Luka on no, of course. But then it's like, damn, I'm putting fucking Rui on Ant. But like I said, not one-on-one defense. But I'm putting Rui on Ant. I'm putting LeBron on Julius. J-Mac and also Reeves on J-Mac, and then I'm leaving Rudy to dominate fucking Jackson Hayes, bully his little ass. Like, that's what I mean. They can be a hard matchup for the Lakers, but like these little spouts where they just don't score the basketball, I feel like that's gonna happen a lot. But also, I feel like they should dominate with their size. Their big team, Julius Randle, Naz Reid, Rudy Gobert, even Ant's big, J-Mac's big. I feel like they could be able to dominate with their size, get to the rim as much as they want, especially Naz Reid. I'm going to need an aggressive Naz Reid this series. Yeah, I feel like that can be hard. And then Julius is the ultimate X factor, of course, because in past matchups he hasn't been good. He's going to be guarded probably by LeBron. He can have a good series this series. But then to talk about the Lakers, I just feel like Luka doesn't have a matchup on that other team that he's really worried about. Even though I have been saying the motherfucker can't separate from me if I was guarding him. Like, I feel like he's still injured, but maybe the week off helps him. But I still think he has a little bit of lingering issue with him. The Austin Reeves whistle is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. The potential of Ant getting the tech and getting suspended, because I believe those techs carry over. That's crazy. LeBron, again, don't think he's worried about anybody over there. Even though the defense is very good. The defense is very good. Don't get me wrong. The defense is elite over there. But like I said with Jamal Murray, I said with somebody else, I can't remember. Some motherfuckers just don't give a fuck. They don't. So I will Lakers at 6. I'm going to give them a little bit of grace. I'm going to give them 6 games. But I won't be surprised if it was 5. Now, the last series I'm going to talk about is the Houston Rockets versus the Warriors. Probably the league's most exciting series, but I don't say it's mine, but I'm also very excited for this series. want to start off with, obviously, Amen Thompson versus Steph, just how they guard him, how the refs going to be calling it, because I'll be honest, Steph is getting fouled in there every play by everybody because they're going to hold him, try to get him to not run around these screens. But how they call it, I think Amen has earned that rep to where like a lot of these won't be called. If it's like last game, that's going to be bad. But I also feel like Steph was missing a lot of open ones. But Amen also, he was on him like last season. Last game they played. So that's an interesting matchup. I think we're going to see a lot of Quentin Post, a lot of Kevon Looney, just because I want to say this. I believe Draymond can hold his own against Alperen Sengun. Don't get me fucking wrong at all. Alperen Sengun is nobody to Draymond Green's defense, in my opinion. But just to get him out of foul trouble, we're going to see a lot of Quentin Post because he can get him, like we seen on Sunday. Even Zach Edey was getting him in foul trouble, and it wasn't like everything was a foul. They're just going to call a lot of it. So, because he's Draymond Green. So, I would put him on an Amen Thompson or Jabari so he can kind of roam a little bit. And roaming off Jabari is a little bit harder than it says, but I'll probably put him on Amen, help him box him out, keep him off the boards, or even put him on Dylan Brooks just in case he's not shooting well this series. That's what I'll probably do. And I will run a lot of Quentin Post, a lot of Kevon Looney, and I feel like they do their job against Alperen Sengun. I don't even want to talk about that. How will Jimmy score this series? I think as of late, not 2 years ago, Jimmy, but as of late, it's been a lot of mismatch hunting. This team don't really got a mismatch. Jalen Green, that's it. Fred is also a mismatch. Other than that, it's not really another mismatch on this team. So, how will he score? He will obviously get some foul calls, and he will hopefully obviously be aggressive. But how will he score? How will he really go at looking to score? I feel like that's another major X factor for this team. And then the Warriors defense as a whole. Will they have games where they just shut them down? I believe so. I'm not really a big fan, but I think they could do it on the other side too, because the Warriors have times, like we've seen in the past 2 games, where they just don't score. They dominate you for a quarter, and then the next quarter they're not dominating you no more. Like, it's weird. It's very weird, and I think Houston can get them with their defense. But I think the major factor for this series is obviously Jalen Green. First series, gonna be obviously the number 1 option. How will he fare against Moses Moody and Gary Payne Jr., who to me are 2 perfect defenders for him? Moses Moody being long, quick on his feet. It is crazy because Moses Moody a couple years ago was not this, but long, quick on his feet, and then GP2 also being quick on his feet, but also being very strong, who can bump him off his spots, make him take uncomfortable shots, which you know he will take. But I also feel like he can kind of have a good series. That's just if the shot's going down. That's why Jalen Green is such a weird damn player to me, because when the shot's going down, I see the hype. But when that nigga just chucking it and none of these is making, I'm like, bro, why do y'all gas him? And a lot of it is when they're not making the shot. So, I don't know. But I see the hype with Jalen Green. I do think he can have an okay series this series, but I'm going to go Warriors in 6. I think they're going to, I said it on Twitter. It will either be, I believe I said, Rockets in 6 or Warriors in 5 or 7. I'm going to give them the Rockets another game, but I don't think the Warriors probably going to lose a whole home game in this series. And even if they go to 7, I'm not betting against Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler. I'm just not. So, that's it for this video, man. I hope y'all really enjoyed this video. Kind of feel like I forgot a series, but if I did, fuck it. The video's already long enough. So, I will talk to you guys later. Peace out.